What is up YouTube, and welcome to this Cobra Kai Season 5 review, Easter eggs and ending explained. Cobra Kai is back for another season and is easily one of the most consistent shows running at the moment. And just like Top Gun Maverick, it has done a superb thing of continuing the magic of the original source material and making it just a bit newer for people who haven't watched the original source. The fact it leans into just how over the top and melodramatic it is just great, and I am invested in each character heavily and the evolving story that started way back in the 80s, and watching those movies as a kid was some of the most cherished moments with my father. Now, in its 5th season, we not only have 3 movies of Daniel LaRusso's with their characters coming back and having their own stories, we also have the many layered stories of the kids with Miguel, Sam, Robbie and many others, with Robbie's evolution and not to mention Tori being the best of the last season as well with Kenny. While I wholly enjoyed this season, it did have a bit far too much going on, and season 4 ended with Chris framed for the beatdown of Stingray while Tori beat Sam, so Terry has sole control of the valley. Miguel ran off to Mexico to find his dad, and Kenny has gone full dark side while Miyagi-Do has shut down. With this in mind, we have all of these story threads to continue on, including Sam and Miguel's relationship. We also have the backstory of Terry and Kree's training and him bringing in a new sensei from his former karate school, and sadly, most of these are either ended abruptly with the Mexico storyline or barely developed. Yes, I am probably being very, very nitpicky, but I was excited to see Miguel explore his family heritage despite splitting the cast across 2 locations. Miguel has been warned that his father was a bad man, and the dude who plays Miguel did very well, and I was fully invested in this as his mortal enemy Robbie was also helping find him. We slowly learn that, his father left Ecuador and has found a new life in business in Mexico. The tension between the pair is heavy as we know what the dad doesn't know, and I thought that the addition of the cage fight in place may lead to some really, really cool moments with Miguel trying to earn his father's affection. However, we just learn that dad won't change anything. Miguel got upset, and Johnny and Robbie find them as we fast travel to California. It's a real shame, as building up a huge story in Mexico leading to Miguel's return would have had a huge impact, especially with how the season went. Robbie and Miguel have beef, but their bickering and coming to terms with themselves could have been done mostly on the trip home instead of a protracted montage with Johnny's guidance, albeit I did enjoy those moments. Meanwhile, we have Daniel go on his plan to stop Terry Silver's rapid expansion of buying up every dojo across the valley. His plan, or Daniel's plan, is to send Chosen in as a sensei, and Chosen recognized Terry's moves. They're from a school that trained US soldiers, so the idea that Sato trained Kreese and Terry wasn't too far off the mark, as we learn later he wants to bring the kid in that was watching them, and, she's grown up now. The flashbacks have been some of my favourite moments of the show, as they are just so well done, and I think seeing more of these would have been cool, but admittedly be superfluous here, so I can't be criticising a show for having too many storylines and then just wanting more. Terry's endgame is to actually go global. He wants to enter the Sekai tournament, with Cobra Kai allowing him to go Mr. Worldwide. Meanwhile, Daniel is trying to use his past to take down Terry by going to Mike Barnes. Yes, Mike Barnes was the dude who was hired by Terry way back in Karate Kid 3. He was the bad boy of karate. And I rewatched that before watching this season again, and the movie's so over the top, I love it. Here is what I mean by underserved storylines. Now, Mike was a badass, the bad boy of karate, and he's just in 2 episodes. He was a huge, huge thorn in the side, almost kind of on par with Johnny Lawrence, but here he becomes a victim of that kung fu war, which is something I probably out of Naruto or something, as his business is burnt down. I thought the episode of his reveal was absolutely hilarious, and this show, these writers really do comedy really, really well. And it was hilarious as chosen as a series mainstay is a superb addition. However, going toe-to-toe with Terry doesn't work. The man is far too strong and a nefarious individual. The war has a ceasefire. I liked how Terry bought the bonsai trees, a plot point in Karate Kid 3, where Daniel helped set up a Miyagi bonsai store, but Mike ruined a really expensive old tree that was needed to help the show run. He also came into contact with Jessica there, which more in that in a bit. I was not expecting that. My main issue is with the lack of an All Valley. The show feels ambling and lacking focus with all these storylines. Admittedly, we did have like 2 fights. Well, we have a mini tournament and then a fight at the end, but I want something to build the season 2. Now, Cobra Kai and the defunct Miyagi-Do still have battles with the kids showing Kenny's evolution to becoming a big player, and the bullying of Anthony is barely explored, just here and there with Sam being like, oh, sucks. But we could have seen Anthony versus Kenny in a tournament, a culmination of Anthony's kind of bratty nature and wanting to shrug off doing any work or any hard work, and it would pay off him trying to like gig economy people to do the tasks that Miyagi sets. Terry has full control of the valley, and Johnny has a kid on the way, and Daniel is out of it until he is convinced to come back. Now, Amanda meets Jessica as Robin Lively returns. We learn how she was the one that introduced them, and Amanda decides to help take out Terry after learning more about the past. Kreese is in jail, and we think he's given up but he's feeding info to Tori here, whose own story gets very interesting. I think that the girl who plays Tori, the name has gone off in my head here, but she is just a real masterclass this season. Now, the guys finesse Kreese and get the info and interrupt the gym inspection from the tournament officials even. I feel maybe this was introduced a bit early, or if it was introduced a bit early, the season would be far more streamlined if we have them plotting in the background while Terry goes on and does his thing. The fights are superb and the choreography looks even better. We even have UFC star Tyrone Woodley join the cast, although he never speaks really. Both teams are accepted into the tournament, which feels like a natural endpoint for the season. But the Cobra Kai kids get the footage of Terry admitting things to Tori. Ultimately, they get it on, and this fight is so much fun. Reminded me of the school war or the Battle of LaRusso's home. It culminates in the footage being released along with a battle between Daniel and Terry, with him, chef's kiss, use the crane kick, which after all this time, boy, did it look even more badass. So Terry is done. Kreese is coming back. But we still have the major tournament next season. So I wonder if Terry and Kreese will join together again or something. I don't know. If you really enjoyed this video, then I will actually do a theories for the next season video. But Johnny and Daniel expect Kreese to stay in jail, so I wonder if they will know if he's escaped or was just stabbed or what's going on with that. But overall, I really enjoyed it. But as a die-hard Cobra Kai and Karate Kid fan, I just expected a bit more from it. But that is not saying it's not good. But I'll see you soon, and goodbye.